my beautiful lovelies, it's Emmy. How are you? It's great to see you and welcome back. Today we're going to be tasting a self-heating meal. Now I've tested these before, but not this particular flavor. These are quite interesting. They are foods that are already prepared and cooked, but they heat themselves, meaning we just add water. The water doesn't have to be heated. There's a chemical reaction and the food heats itself, which is pretty stinking cool if you consider an emergency situation where there's no power, no electricity. You can still have a hot meal with just a little bit of water. Now, the first time I was exposed to this kind of technology was when I first tried my first US MRE, which is a meal ready to eat, which was 10 years ago now. It was when I was pregnant with my second child, and a lovely sent it to me, and I learned of this kind of heating technology. An MRE is a meal ready to eat for a soldier. It contains pre-cooked food that is shelf stable, but it also includes a self-heating warmer where you can heat the food. The meal can be consumed cold, but generally speaking, food does taste better when it's warmed up. So you can place the packet of food in the warmer with a little bit of water and it will heat it up. That was the first time I've learned of this technology. Since then, there are other international rations that use a similar technology. I remember the Japanese one, for example, which had a very big reaction and created a very, very hot meal. My only criticism to the US MRE using the self-heating unit is that it does not get very hot, but the Japanese one got incredibly hot. And these ones, this particular brand, Xinghai gets particularly hot. Most of the ones that I have tried in terms of self-heating meals have come from China. You should definitely check out those videos. I will put links to them down below. But this is an example of quite a large one, but a flavor I have not tried. It's kimchi style bibimbap self-heating rice. Now, everything you need is in here. We just need a little bit of water and it will cook itself. So let's go ahead and get started. So kimchi style bibimbap. So this is a Korean style rice dish, even though this is a Chinese product. This was wrapped in cellophane, but I took it off so you could see it better on camera. And here's our container. I believe it's supposed to kind of mimic a stone pot. And there's a little slot here. Maybe you could use this as a piggy bank of some sort, but that allows the steam to escape. So underneath the label are the instructions. So we put the heat pack in, add the water to the line, then we add the food back and then close the lid. Pretty stinking great. Alrighty, let's open it up and see what it looks like inside. Pretty tight fitting lid. Look at this, pre-measured water, which is great. So if you're in the situation where you don't have running water or clean water, water is provided. Pretty handy. Oh, and this was $8.99 at my local Chinese market. Here is the rice, very clearly written in English, rice. Here is the metal container where we'll put our food. I like that the food is actually cooked in metal rather than plastic. And then we have packet AA, packet I'm not sure, another packet I'm not sure, another packet of I'm not sure. I probably have to get my phone to translate these items. This, I'm fairly certain, is the sesame oil. This is going to be the sauce of some kind, I believe. And this says very clearly, even if you can't read any of the Chinese, is not to be eaten. Warning, warning, caution, caution. So this is the self-heating packet for the food, and it says right there, self-heating. Let's first combine everything in our, they're calling this the lunch box. Into the lunch box, we will put our rice. Oh, this rice is very interesting. It's like converted rice. It's a little bit transparent, a little clear, so it's been par cooked. That's why it can cook in 15 minutes. So there's our rice, and then we're going to add our vegetables. Oh, cool. It smells like canned vegetables. So we're adding the vegetables. There's corn. I'm not sure what they're, oh, bean sprouts, some purple vegetable, carrots, and it's like lily. Let's open this to get our chopsticks out. There we are. Indeed, we have a plastic spoon. And look at this. This is great. So they shorten them so they fit inside the package, but then we can assemble them and then it makes a larger, longer pair of chopsticks. That's great, but they're made out of wood. I'm so happy about that instead of plastic. Now I'm just gonna give this a little spread out like this. And we're not gonna add any sauce to this yet, which kind of shocks me because the rice was so dry, but that's what it says. So place our hot pack in there. So I made a mistake. This water is not for the chemical reaction. This water is for the rice. Because I'm like, this is going to be quite dry. It's just going to steam. No, this is drinking water, and this is to be placed with the rice and the vegetables. They show that in the very first step. Thank you for including very clear instructions. Okay, so let's go back to this. In goes the water for that. All right, that makes more sense. So you will need, in an emergency situation, you will need some water to activate the heater, but it doesn't have to be drinking water, which is nice, they provide it. So I'm gonna add our water to there, pouring it onto the heater. Not much, just a few tablespoons really. Place our food on top, and then the lid, just like that. We're supposed to let that sit for 15 minutes. In the meanwhile, we can taste something else. So let me just clean up here. Oh my gosh! It popped its lid. You're not supposed to do that. Stop! That made my heart palpitate a little bit too much. Okay, you're supposed to trap in the heat. All right, we're cooking. Alrighty, so while our rice is cooking, let's go ahead and try this product. I've never tried this before, but this would also be suitable in an emergency situation because it requires no cooking as well. And these noodles are generally served at room temperature or cold, so there's no need to heat them up. But you just mix everything in the bag. The noodles, the seasoning, everything right in the bag. So shelf life looks, oh my gosh, this is only good to February 1st, 2025. So I think this has been on the shelf for a little while. And let's go ahead and open this up. To cut that. And inside we have the, whoa, what is this? Are they noodles? It doesn't really look like noodles, but maybe once we open the package, it'll look more like noodles. It looks just like a package of goo, but it does look like they're noodles, so we'll see that in a minute. And what else do we have? We have a dry seasoning packet that feels like it has maybe some peanuts in it, chili oil, a tiny fork, and some vinegar. So let's drain the noodles first. So we're gonna open the package and give it a sniff. No, it doesn't smell like anything. Nope, doesn't smell like anything. Oh, and now we can see that indeed they're noodles. So let's pour them out. Oh yeah, look at that. We definitely have noodles. A little transformer fork clicks into place like that. And here are the noodles. They're wide and gelatinous. Kind of transparent. They look great. Based on look, I don't know about texture. Remind me of the mung bean noodles I made recently. Kind of transparent. They look a little bit like rice noodles as well, but these are cold. Alrighty. So now we're gonna place them back in the bag so we can eat out of the bag. Let's try to get the noodles back in there without spilling. All right. Yes, success. Bag of noodles. Now we're going to add all of our ingredients. Let's add some vinegar. I'm just gonna add all of it. I'm gonna guess rice wine vinegar, chili oil, and mystery powder. Oh yes, indeed. Looks to be peanuts. It smells like Sichuan peppercorn. And now the dry powder mix. Quite a lot of it. All right, I'm gonna put down the camera so I can give this a thorough mix. And a fork actually is pretty ideal. You can get all the way to the bottom, you can stir with one hand. It smells good. It smells like Sichuan peppercorn, which smells a little aniseed to me, in my opinion. I smell a little vinegar, which is pungent, tangy. And what I thought were peanuts, I think are actually toasted soybean nuts, or soybeans. And it's pretty wet. Let me show you. The mixture's pretty wet and glossy. Look at that. Isn't that great? Wow. That looks great. Alrighty, our cold konyac jelly noodles. Look at that. So luscious and shiny. Smell great. Let's give them a go. Ooh. Here we go. My habit is to blow noodles before I eat them, but there's no reason to do that here. Here we go. Itadakimasu. Oh, those are great. Slippery, cool. Even though they're at room temperature, they feel cool and jellied, and they have a little bit of a bounce to them. But there's so many flavors and textures going on. So I already described the noodles, which are cool, but then you've got a little bit of chili oil, which elicits a little bit of a heat kind of sensation in your mouth, but not overly spicy, just a little warmth. The oil makes it slick, as does the vinegar. So the mouthfeel is slippery and slick, but it's tangy too. The vinegar is sour and spicy. Savory and salty. A little bit spicy, but not too much. So, and then you've got these crunchy soybeans, which is a nice little foil to the kind of cool jellyness that you've got going on. Delightful. It definitely has an addictive, savory, instant noodle quality to the flavor to this. So I'm guessing there's some MSG in here. Delicious. Absolutely delicious. A generous portion here. And so stinking easy. You just dump everything into the bag. And I love the fact that when you're done, you can just toss it. You don't even have to do dishes. All right, one more bite. This entire serving, which is pretty generous in my opinion, this would definitely fill me up, contains 169 calories. So if you are watching calorie count, this might be something you might be interested in. All right, let's check on the rice. Alrighty, we're back with our self-cooking meal. Everything is still warm and toasty, but the steam has definitely subsided. So let's open it up. Look at that. You can see the steam coming up from there. Looks pretty good. The vegetables look about the same, but look at the rice. Fully cooked. Amazing. Now, let's add our other ingredients. So, to the rice, we can add our kimchi. It's hard to do this one-handed. There we go. Then we're going to add our sauce. Look at that. And our sesame oil. And finally, our nori. There we have it. Looks pretty good, eh? So here we are. Look at that. That looks pretty great. This is what the heating unit looks like afterwards. It kind of gets solidified and puffs up. Very interesting, but we can leave this on top so that residual heat keeps our meal warm. And now we are going to stir this up. This is a generous portion. It'd be more than enough for me. I'd probably eat about a half this amount. Right, here we go. Looks pretty good. Self-cooking bibimbap. Itadakimasu. Pretty good. The taste is a little bit different than Korean bibimbap that I've had, but it's still delicious. Very tasty and flavorful. There's a little bit of heat in there. I love the textures that are going on. The rice has an interesting quality in terms of texture to it. It's a little bit softer, but not sticky. It's definitely converted rice, but it doesn't taste like Uncle Ben's either. It almost has a texture of orzo or pasta. It has a pasta-y texture to it. But fully cooked and tender. It feels a little bit slippery in your mouth. I like the textures of the vegetables in there. It gives it a nice crunch. It makes it taste fresh. The sauce is a little bit sweet, definitely savory, and it's got some heat in it. A little bit of sesame seed oil in there. I like that it's vegetarian as well. I'm looking for a piece of kimchi. I know that there's carrots in here. Maybe I did taste it. Maybe that was the crunch. Okay, let's try this bite. I think I found some right here. Okay, kimchi. It doesn't taste like the kimchi that I'm familiar with in terms of it doesn't have like a tangy, pickly flavor to it, necessarily garlicky or anything. It just is like crunchy cabbage that's got a little bit of heat to it. It is all mixed together, which I don't mind, but it doesn't taste what I think of when I think of bibimbap, but it's still pretty stinking good. And definitely on par with the other Zihai Guo offerings that I've tasted previously. Similarly textured rice, but they're always very flavorful and pretty delicious. $8.99, so not exactly inexpensive for an instant meal, but maybe something worth keeping in your pantry for the days that you don't feel like cooking or in case of an emergency. You got a hot meal, just like that. A tasty one at that. All right, my lovies. Thanks as always for watching. I hope you enjoyed that one. I hope you learned something. Please share this video with your friends. Follow me on social media, like this video, subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one. Toodaloo, take care, bye! I can't eat all this because I have to make dinner. I mean, we could have it for dinner.